All right. Here's a few things, everybody. So what I see here is the strategy here in this particular calendar is more or less, it's okay, right? We're generating the correct activities, okay? So we are approaching university partners. So that's kind of a broad scale type marketing. And then we're targeting whale hunting. So that's more focus driven. So overall, this calendar, I think, is let's say the correct planning. The real question is actually in the branding and awareness cycle is what exactly are we doing? Just earlier, I mentioned if we just ask universities to put out our job ads, does that actually create the correct full strategy? And the answer is no. That has not really worked very well in the past. It doesn't really enhance our brand. We don't really become known for doing anything in particular. And once again, you have to think about this, right? So, for example, Reza, if Bukit Vista came to your school, didn't talk about anything, and said, you should join Bukit Vista, what is your first reaction? And the question is to Reza.
If I rate it,
Right. So, if Bukit Vista came to your school, Reza, and said, hey, you should join Bukit Vista, this is awesome work, what would be your first reaction to that?
uh, my first reaction is what awesome that you give. What do you mean with the awesome?
Bingo, right? Why? Why should I believe you, right? There's skepticism, there's doubt. So remember, when you really talk about a brand, when you really talk about like actually motivating, not just like doing this, not just like the most amateur people who work on branding spray and pray. They hope that by getting a lot of their flyers out, by getting a lot of their whatever out, people will actually somehow buy their product or convert. But the truth is, a brand is something a little bit different than that. There has to be some sort of emotional experience somebody goes through while they engage with your brand. All right. So most people, if they see a job ad, they're going to wonder why. Why should I work at Boogie Vista? There's a lot of other companies that I already understand, like maybe Gojek. I use their product every day. Traveloka, I've traveled with them. So I already have some knowledge about what that brand is. Okay. But with Boogie Vista, I don't know anything about your brand. So why should I work for a company that I don't know anything about? All right. That is why there's low conversion going from awareness into applicants if we do not change our branding strategy. Okay. So then you need to actually kind of do the work here in this particular way. Yes, creating events, creating brand moments is more work than just simply sending out blasts of emails hoping that somebody will respond. Okay. But how do we actually put in the work to make it work? So we have to create an experience. We have to create something where people go, oh, you taught me something that I thought was amazing. You said something that I didn't know before. I feel inspired. Of course I'll work for you, right? You have something that I can actually engage with. So that I think is the fundamental of what that brand moment is. These engagements here with all the universities, left, right, center, are opportunities to ask for that emotional experience. What we're doing is we're saying, hey, would you allow us to give a moment where your students can have an emotional moment with our company to understand our brand, to feel our brand. Okay. They should feel inspired delight after whatever we do with them. Okay. It can be we're on campus doing something, it could be a webinar, it could be we make a donation, even, right? Or support a club. All these are ways where people actually will feel something about your brand and then they would actually apply. Okay. So that is the key. Now, this then changes the narrative. It's not so much the schedule, everybody, that we need to look at. It's really about this type of messaging that we're looking for. Okay. So we have to break it down. Is this messaging the emotional experience? It is not. This messaging is just asking for the opportunity to give an emotional experience. Okay. So you're kind of like working through gatekeepers right now. So here's the thing. Let's say, okay, this is Gareth, right? Okay, interesting. Gareth, tell me who you're sending these messages to.
Yes, on the left you can see it, that is for the LinkedIn post, so everyone can see that. And then for on the right, that is a new template message that I just created today because I just
Ah,
remembered that yesterday we need to when we approach through using your LinkedIn, yes, sir. Yeah.
okay.
When we approach our LinkedIn, we need to make messages look more personal, right? So then I sort of like sort of like shorten the text a little bit, and then like I
Mhm.
add this part. I can see from your profile that blah 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 blah
Yep.
blah, and then I can feel, yeah. So I send that to the candidates
Okay.
basically.
All right. Very good. So there's a few things that we don't entirely have all the information at this point, Gareth. Who did you send this to, and how do you know that they would actually be a good fit for this particular outreach message, Gareth?
Oh, the list is I got from the wheel hunting
Okay,
from
all right. Let's take a
yes.
look at that list. That's the kind of detail that we need at the moment, right? Now, here's the thing. This is a particular kind of marketing. This is a micro marketing. You're marketing to one person, okay? So if you're going to send out 10, 20 of these, what Gareth is doing here is actually pretty strategically correct. He's personalizing it by allowing for personalization to happen. What is the candidate's experience, right? What have the candidates actually achieved? So when somebody reads that, they go, oh, this is for me, right? You know something about who I am. So I'm probably more than likely to actually engage with your brand at this point. All right. This is through essentially an email message. Okay. All right. So that part is pretty cool. Um, there's different ways that you can actually craft messages like this. Let's go over to Way. Way, we look for employees at job, career, and calling. What do you feel that this message is targeting? Is this targeting somebody at job, career, or calling?
In a glance, it looks like a job.
Yes. Yes, right? It's targeting job, right? Let's go to Jesslyn. Jesslyn, if we wanted to, or let's give everyone a chance to write their ideas, right? If you wanted to upgrade this and make it sound more like you're looking for somebody with a calling, more like somebody who has a career focus, what would you add to the message that Gareth has sent? Okay. Now let's just take a moment, everybody, to put your ideas in. And what would you add to this message to target career calling motivated candidates? Okay. Let's give everyone a second to put in their ideas here. Okay.
Sir, just want
Yeah.
to say, on top of my new message there, I put the old template. So here's the thing, sir. When you say about which calling am I approaching with, so in the previous message there is this like short paragraph where it says like, do you want to challenge yourself to join the mission to develop innovation, blah blah blah, like that kind.
Mhm.
I actually maybe like that is the thing that I erased in my new message, but because I thought that it would be way too template. I'm just saying this because I just hope I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Oh, okay. That's a very good point, Gareth. What you're actually referring to something really interesting, right? I would categorize this, or would I be correct in categorizing this? Your style versus functionality, right? Is that kind of like where the balance is? So you're choosing a style that sounds less uh, corporate or less template or less kind of like but you might actually be trading off some functionality in the message.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, I got it.
that's actually a really good point, everybody. So that's actually a very spot on branding moment. I'll just kind of narrate while you guys fill in the details below here. All right. So sometimes we need to choose something because the style is what we want. Okay, like let's say for example, maybe a color pattern, um, or maybe a certain font. But we also need to ask ourselves, what's the functionality of that color pattern? Why do we choose blue? Why do we choose orange? Why do we choose green, right? What does it actually represent? What's the functional purpose of it? Now, some things maybe it's just all style. There is actually no functional purpose, you know? Think about maybe fashion sometimes, okay? Some fashion choices are completely just about style. There's no functional purpose to it. But some other things, they need to have style but they also need to have functional purpose. Gareth, the way that I would see this is you probably should always begin with the skeleton. Okay. The skeleton is your framework and that's your function. What is it that this particular message should aim to do? All right. Once you have that, then you can add style to it. Because if you have style with no function, then you might have something that looks pretty, but it doesn't actually do what you really wanted it to do. Okay. So think about this, right? Think about maybe packaging for a certain type of product. Maybe it would be like awesome if we could package our products with, I don't know, some really exotic material. Maybe we could package our products with titanium. Okay. But if we package it with titanium, it's not transparent and nobody can see what's inside anymore, right? And because people can't see what's inside, they don't have transparency and they might not buy that product. Okay. So we have to ask ourselves, do we use the stylistic packaging or do we use the packaging that our consumers actually find some function in? So the best answer is both. You should find something that's stylish and actually functional at the same time. But if you have to compromise, I would always compromise on the function first, right? So if this is a matter of we need to hire somebody with a really good fit, and they understand what we're about, that is probably a higher priority over how we style ourselves. Okay. Um, in this particular example, Gareth, right? So the opening line is actually strategically important because it determines whether or not you will read any more of the particular message. Okay. So the opening line is probably 10 times more important than the second or third paragraphs. So I would probably, as a copywriter in this particular, think of what is the style, but what is the message that actually kind of filters out a particular candidate that I don't want, right? And focuses in on the candidate that I do want, but using the style that is the most appealing. Okay. So really good question, really good point there, Gareth. Does everyone get that? If you understand that balance between style and functionality, give me a thumbs up. If it wasn't clear, give me a thumbs down. Yeah. Okay. All right. Cool. Jesselyn, Gareth.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay, sir. I
Okay.
got it. But just a little bit info. The first one is not mine. I did not make it. So if it's better, then yeah, credits to them. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
But once again, you have the freedom to change things as you see fit here. Inspire, delight everyone, every time, everywhere, right? So doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who created it. You can always do better, right? Never settle. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at what people have actually said here that would actually elevate this. Have some conversation about their interest first. Okay, bring in something from the role itself. Yes. Okay, do you love meeting people? I would give this a thumbs up. Opportunity to self-actualize. Okay. Charisma, their experience, growth, what they have learned, more technical skill. Okay. Let's see. Tell something like being in BV is not about. Okay. All right. That's good. Another thumbs up there. And then bring job experience or job career from someone. This one I'm confused about. So I'm going to give it kind of a look here. All right. So here's a few things we need to understand about our medium. Bila, is it possible to have a conversation in a medium like email?
In an email, possible, but it's not a really fast response
No.
platform.
Email, you have to think of it as kind of like a telegraph, right? You're sending it out and maybe you will never hear back from the person who received it, right? Now,
Mm.
that would be different from a conversation like this. If I said something and you didn't say anything back to me, that would be weird, right? That would be kind of like, what's going on here? So there are particular channels that are well suited for conversation, such as a face-to-face negotiation. And in those cases, you are right. We should discover and understand a little bit more about the person we're dealing with. But in email, you only really have one shot. So you better guess or anticipate or accurately predict what they will be interested about. And that is kind of like the limitation of your channel. But if you're skilled, you'll understand that limitation and then you'll craft your message to suit that limitation. Okay. So that kind of goes also with charisma, their experience, growth, what they have learned, more technical skill. Okay. If we want to, we don't know what their experience is, charisma, right? Oh, we do. We can research it. But by talking about them, we are just doing what? We're just talking about their past, right? This is something to do with their future. So you want to craft a message not about like, okay, I know you've done this, this, and this. That could be good for maybe trust building. That could be good for maybe just identifying who you're speaking with. But that doesn't tell a person why they should actually join you, right? Why they should join you is the opportunities. It's the new things that they're going to experience, the things that they can add to their achievements, the things that they can add to their experiences. So that's that. Yeah, Jesselyn, you kind of got it on the dot here, right? So we need to call out a particular person based on what they love to do, right? Do you love to meet people? Do you love making impact? Do you like making other people happy? How would you feel if you could make thousands of people really happy to experience your country today? Sign up, become a reservation host at Bukit Vista, and see how you can invite the world to your home. Okay, something like that, right? So that then kind of like captures that desire, that innate quality within a person. Jesselyn, that's really good. In fact, it elevates this not just to a career message; it elevates it to a calling message. If we know what the person loves to do, okay, so that's a strong approach. And Gareth, that can be the direction that you can take now with these particular ads, right? Think about all the really monumental, really good, like, things, right? You don't see it as, oh, I'm going to go there, work, and make some money. You see it as, there's some really inspirational people there. I've always wanted to become the best at what I do. That's why I'm joining here, right? Or, I just never thought there was so much access I could actually reach through this particular job. I could see different parts of the world. I could meet a lot of people. I could use tools that I never had before. Those are more strong motivations than you work, you get paid. Okay. So definitely keep that inside. And that is how you want the brand to be represented. And that is how you then use copywriting, storytelling to deliver that result. Okay. All right. So Gareth, let's give that a shot then. Yeah. Let's try to elevate the messaging to that level. And you should be then seeing then that kind of reaction. Okay. One other thing I would do here, everybody, is this. I would add evidence. So in addition to what Jesselyn has said, I'll add, put your evidence on the message, right? Show, don't tell. Okay. What are some examples of a person that this person might want to become? What are some cases of successes? Do we have them? Well, I think we do, right? We have our Hall of Fame, Bukit Vista. So let's say, hey, blah, 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 blah. Are you passionate about hospitality? Do you want to make impact in the world? Do you have ideas that you think would transform Indonesia's economy? So why don't you fly to Bukit Vista and become transformed? Here's a list of our past employees who have made contributions to hospitality. Please take a look at them. And if any of this inspires you, contact us back. We have a job waiting for you here at Bukit Vista. Okay? Gareth, what do you think? Strong?
Yes, sir. I forgot about the Cheslin part. I will totally put it in my new message after this.
Okay,
Thank you, Cheslin.
good, excellent. Okay, all right. Hopefully that makes sense for everybody. If you gathered something good from that, give me a thumbs up. If there's still something more to talk about, give me a funny face then or something. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. All right. Let's keep on moving then. So once again, the key thing to remember is this, right? I hope you guys can elevate the knowledge that we learn here in this particular group to apply to all different types of users, right? Whether it's partners or guests or anybody else. If you want to define your brand as a transformational brand, you really need to kind of dig down and get past the first layers, right? Just the transactional layer, like I exchange money for accommodation, I exchange commission for your management services, I exchange salary for my time at your company. You really need to kind of really bring in the other layers that really get people excited, that get the right type of people within our world. Those are the people we want to inspire to like. Okay, that part is cool. Oh, Gani's dropped this down. All right, thank you. Gani, tell us a little bit about this LinkedIn post.
Okay, so basically, I'm trying to pioneering how to what's called share our urgent role, but we ask more personalized message in the beginning. So this was from Garrett idea, but then I try to develop. So instead of hey, we are need this position, blah 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 blah, and we not directly say that, but I'm trying to bring apa ya, hey, this is my first journey like this, and then blah blah blah, and then I transform become like this. So and then I try to make a bridge between what is my experience to the role that is available. So
Excellent.
please everyone, please have a comment. I believe everyone also have to post it on the LinkedIn, but
I hope
we
so.
can share each other then.
Okay. All right. Let's go ahead, take a moment to comment on Gani's story there, and let's see where we can go with this. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and analyze this. So let's see. Let's go with Bila. Okay. I gave Bila kind of like a. Oh, Bila, why don't you explain this a little bit for yourself here?
Yeah, so I think like Kagani has shared like his experience on Bukit Vista, what he do, what he want to achieve, but then it does not like really reflect the roles that is offered because people want to see like what is the role about, right? Rather than all of the other role that people offer, but
Mm,
not specifically the one that they are applying to. If you get what I mean.
right. So there could be sort of a relevancy gap here, right?
Yeah,
In
yes.
a funny way. Okay. All right. That's an interesting thought. Let's go over to Jesslyn. Jesslyn, pretty much the same. Yeah. Jesslyn, on your side.
Yeah, it's pretty much like what Bila has just said because yesterday I also have a hard time bridging between the part where I talk about my experience and the part where I offer another position in Bukit Vista because usually I want to know more about the position itself, not about the person who posted. But I think that format, talking about our own experience in Bukit Vista, is a good idea to spread awareness about the brand in general, but not exactly for a
That's
specific
interesting.
position.
Okay, so it sounds like what we need here, everyone, is we need a bridge, right? We need a bridge between the company's purpose, and the role's purpose, yeah? right? What does that sound like to you? All right. What do you think about that, Jocelyn?
Yeah, it could be like that.
Okay. All right. Let's see. All right. And let's go over to Wei. Wei, what do you see?
I do agree with Bila and Jesslyn, but I think the point what Mas Gani from Mas Gani's message is that he tried to deliver that Bukit Vista offers you a career.
Mm-hmm.
So that even though it's not relevant with his role,
Okay.
but yeah, the offers, I think.
Interesting. Okay. All right. Excellent. Okay. And Reza says, basically similar, right? So what exactly is the role? Okay. Let me see. Gareth, I do general weakness of the message, my point-to-point growth. Okay. What do you get from bringing a Bukit Vista? Okay. All right. This is really interesting because this can be solved by the quality of the story, right? So this is a quality of the story type situation. What do I mean by that? You need to kind of figure out then, in this particular case, the bridge. How does Ghani's experience actually translate into something that would be compelling for a person to actually apply for this particular role, right? And how would you then connect all these pieces together? All right. So, Ghani, this is sort of like how I would structure this particular message, okay? Think about what is the core purpose. All right, this is how I began. Many jobs that we find do not offer us very much career mobility or personal transformation. And it can be frustrating for a young person to experience that as their first job in the marketplace, right? My experience at Bukit Vista has been completely different. I started as this, and now I am this, right? Currently, we are experiencing an enormous amount of opportunities in tourism and travel and such. And I've been able to impact that through my career at Bukit Vista by having my photos being seen by thousands of people, by directing the brand and marketing strategy of a company that is growing a few 100% year on year now, right? So that part is good. Would you like to be part of this process and see a similar transformation in your career? Now, all roles are equally important, but what we're looking for this month is we're looking for people who can host, deliver inspirational experiences directly with guests from coming all over the world, and people who can take reservations and add to our market growth year on year. Find out more by clicking on these 2 links below and be part of the Bukit Vista transformation process today. All right? Okay, so then you're connecting essentially your story to the story of how somebody can transform, and the urgency of the role is not so important as to what it can develop for somebody's career and for somebody to fulfill their purpose. Okay, now you are correct in a way, everybody, right? Everybody who said this kind of over here. The role and the company can be separate, but we've tried our best to merge them together. Now, Bila, at the end of the day, who are we really looking for? Are we looking for somebody with a job fit? Or are we looking for somebody with a company fit?
Company fit, I guess.
Right. Because guess what can happen during somebody's career here? Your job can
Your job can change.
Yeah, hopefully your job does change, right? If you do the same job in your company for the entire time that you're there, you might not have progressed, right? You start as an intern, as an intern, you know, you don't unless we have those cases, people who intern here and they get full-time jobs and they rise to become executives, right? So that's happened here before. But most cases we would actually, and probably most people would actually want to evolve from their roles, especially since most of the roles we're offering are entry level anyway, right? So it is actually better to align ourselves to the message that this is more for a career, this is more for long term, right? And this role is where you start your journey. So I think that is actually then the way that you can position the company in a way. So now you're getting people who are not just coming here to do reservations; they're here to be part of this process that improves people's lives, that improves their own lives. Okay, so that then elevates it. Gunny, really good, I think, with the storytelling, but also you can elevate it too as well by really connecting kind of like the company's purpose, your experience of that, and then offering almost hospitality, right? Would you like to experience this for yourself? And this is where Bukit Vista needs you today, right? And then bring them in because it has purpose now, right? This is kind of like where talent is needed. Okay, cool. If you get that, give me a thumbs up. If there's anything more to talk about, give me a face and I'll know what to move on to. Okay. All right, good. Now, the reason we talk about this and the reason we examine these is once again, brand, right? The brand has to be authentic. The brand has to find its voice. The stories are all here. The stories are all here, everyone. The stories of people making, every one of you is probably actually a story in yourself, right? But it's really finding how to tell that story, how to actually find the words and connect everything to kind of like the bigger purpose and understand that purpose that really compels people to talk about it, that compels people to make decisions about how they want to do. So this is what I see actually already. I see there is a good evolution, right? There's a good evolution going from things like this, which is pretty sterile and it's not particularly personal. It's just very corporate, right? To something where we have that's much more personal, right? That's much more compelling. Okay. Now, Bila, this goes back to if you walk away today with one thing, I want you to just remember this. Okay. There's fruits, and inside the fruit, there's a seed. Okay. But nobody eats a fruit for the seed. Does that make sense? All right. So why do plants produce fruits? They want you to eat the fruit, right? Poop out the seed somewhere, and they get to live again. That's the biological purpose of a fruit. But no animal will just eat a seed. So you need a package of fruit around it. All right. So the same goes with this particular principle. If you're just asking, hey, look, I have a job, come and take my job. I have a job, come and take my job. You're probably not going to get that deep level engagement. And when you do get engagement, it is only for people who are willing to just do a transactional bargain with you. You give me a job, I'll do the work. If the work is too hard, I don't want to do it. I don't feel like I'm getting rewarded, right? But if you frame it differently, if you tell a story, if you say, are you the type of person who wants to experience growth? Let me tell you a story about a person who experienced growth recently that I know about, all right? And this is how they did it. In the very end, then do the ask, all right? By the way, now is a really good time. If you would like to actually have this opportunity to see this story that you just read about in your own life, apply to Bukit Vista today. We are open for roles on this, and this, okay? That has fruit and it has a seed at the very end. Okay. But if you just put the seed with no fruit, you're probably not going to get as much consumption. Okay. Now, apply this principle to your outreach. Apply this principle to just all the different kinds of messaging. And I promise you will start seeing much better results, higher quality applicants, more engaged, and more people will actually want to do things. Okay. That is how you convey that emotional experience to whatever user you are trying to address. Okay. All right. That's it for today. Hopefully everybody gained something out of it, and let's apply. You guys are doing great in the awareness chapter. We're seeing lots of great things happen. Awareness is picking up like crazy already. So continue this work. We just need you for a little bit to get this employee awareness thing going. Thank you so much for volunteering over in this particular squad. Once things are going, then I think we can, we can really kick ass, right? We'll get you guys back into the guest side. All right. And remember, it's all about that's what actually a brand is. A brand is that emotional experience of what people remember as a story. Okay. All right. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.